friendship, a word we all romanticize, a word that feels safe, like a home you can return to no matter how stormy the world becomes. We believe that friends are those who cheer for us, cry with us, and protect us. But here's the uncomfortable truth: not everyone who calls themselves a friend is truly one. Some of them wear the mask of loyalty while quietly plotting against us in ways so subtle, so manipulative that we don't even notice until it's too late. Fake friends are not obvious villains. They don't walk into your life announcing their betrayal. Instead, they slip in quietly, disguised as allies only to drain your energy, exploit your trust, and make you question your own worth. And what's worse, we often cling to them blinded by history, habit, or hope. But if you learn to spot the signs, you can finally free yourself from their grip. So today, I'm going to share with you 7 things only fake friends do. Listen closely. Because once you recognize these patterns, you'll never look at your friendships the same way again. There is something deeply unsettling about realizing that the people you thought were on your side, the people you trusted to cheer for you, may not actually want to see you win. It is a strange and painful kind of betrayal because it hides itself under the disguise of friendship. You can often tell who your true friends are not when times are dark, but when times are bright. Anyone can stand beside you when you are struggling, but not everyone can handle standing beside you when you are succeeding. That is the silent test of friendship, whether they clap for you when you shine or quietly hope that you stumble back into the shadows. Fake friends are experts at masking envy. When you achieve something meaningful, when life rewards your effort, you expect your friends to feel the same joy you feel. You expect them to celebrate alongside you, to remind you of how hard you worked, to say, "I knew you could do it." But with fake friends, the excitement you anticipate never truly arrives. Instead, they offer you lukewarm praise, a hollow pat on the back, or sometimes even silence. They might dismiss your success with words like, "Oh, that's not really a big deal," or, "Well, anyone could have done that if they had the same chance." They reduce your accomplishment to something ordinary, stripping away the pride you should rightfully feel. Their jealousy doesn't always appear in obvious ways, but you can feel it in the little things. The subtle eye roll, the fake smile that doesn't reach their eyes, or the way they quickly change the subject whenever the focus turns toward you. What makes this dynamic so manipulative is the psychological game it plays on you. Instead of being able to fully embrace your victories, you find yourself questioning whether you are allowed to celebrate them. You start minimizing your own progress just to make them feel comfortable. You learn to dim your light so their insecurities don't cast a shadow over your friendship. This is exactly how fake friends maintain control. They cannot rise to your level, so they pull you back down by convincing you that your success is not worthy of celebration. And because you value the relationship, you comply without realizing you are being manipulated into silence. Yet when you stumble, when you make mistakes, when life knocks you to the ground, suddenly their interest is renewed. Suddenly they are attentive. They offer you pity, but it does not feel like comfort. It feels like satisfaction disguised as sympathy. They want you weak because your weakness reassures them. It keeps the balance of power in their favor. You can almost see it in their eyes. The way their concern carries a hint of relief, as if your failure confirms what they secretly hoped, that you are not actually better than them, that you are not actually moving ahead, that you are still the same person they can control, pity, and feel superior to. This is the toxic pattern of fake friends. They downplay your wins and magnify your losses. They are addicted to imbalance because your triumph exposes their own stagnation, while your failure protects their fragile ego. And the saddest part is, they will never admit this to you. They will continue to act as though they care, wrapping their jealousy in thin layers of politeness. But if you pay attention, their behavior tells the real story. True friends don't feel threatened by your rise. They see your rise as a victory for the friendship itself. Fake friends, however, interpret your growth as a threat to their place in your life, What makes this betrayal so dangerous is how long it can go unnoticed. You may spend years calling someone your best friend, never realizing that they have been quietly rooting against you all along. And by the time you finally notice, by the time you feel the emptiness of their applause, you've already given them so much of your trust, your time, and your energy. That is why recognizing this sign is so important. The moment you see that someone only lights up when you stumble but grows distant when you shine, you have uncovered the truth about where their loyalty really lies. Friendship is supposed to be a safe place, a relationship where your joy multiplies because it is shared. A true friend is someone who celebrates your growth as if it were their own. They don't just stand beside you when you are broken. They stand beside you when you are powerful, when you are victorious, when you are becoming everything you once dreamed of. That is the beauty of real friendship. It turns your personal success into a collective celebration. Fake friends can never give you that gift because their hearts are too small to hold joy that doesn't belong to them. The conclusion is simple but necessary. You must be brave enough to notice the difference. Pay attention to who smiles when you win. Pay attention to who downplays your progress. Pay attention to who grows quiet in your moments of joy but loud in your moments of struggle. Those are not your friends. They are your disguised opponents. And no matter how much history you share, no matter how many memories bind you together, you cannot let loyalty to the past blind you to the truth of the present. Protect your victories. Protect your light. Surround yourself with those who can stand in your brightness without fear, without envy, and without resentment, because a real friend will never need you to fail in order to feel whole. A real friend will love to see you win. There is a certain kind of silence that cuts deeper than words ever could. The silence of a friend who is not there when you need them most. Friendship, in its truest form, is meant to be a shelter. It is supposed to be the shoulder you lean on when the world grows too heavy, the voice that comforts you when life feels unbearable, and the presence that reminds you that you are not alone. But fake friends strip away that shelter in the exact moment you need it most. They vanish, they disappear, and their absence speaks louder than any betrayal you could imagine. Fake friends are masters of convenience. When the sun is shining in your life, when laughter is abundant, when there is something to gain from being close to you, they are right there, smiling, joining in, enjoying the benefits of your company. But the moment the clouds gather, the moment your life grows complicated, messy, or painful, they quietly back away. They will make excuses about being busy. They will dodge your calls, or they will offer the shallow kind of comfort that disappears the second the conversation ends. You can feel the distance in their tone, the lack of urgency in their replies, and the unwillingness to step into your storm. This kind of betrayal doesn't always arrive with drama. Sometimes it is simply the absence of action, the empty seat next to you when you're crying, the unanswered phone call when you desperately needed to hear a reassuring voice, the silence in moments when even a simple "I'm here for you" would have made all the difference. And the truth is, the pain of absence is sometimes worse than the sting of conflict. Because in that silence, you realize something heartbreaking. The friendship you thought was a foundation was only a facade. What makes this manipulation so cruel is that fake friends have no problem needing you. When their own lives collapse, when they feel broken, when they crave advice or comfort, they run to you without hesitation. They expect you to drop everything for them. They thrive on your listening ear, your steady support, your selfless giving. But when the roles reverse, they treat your pain as an inconvenience. They vanish into the shadows, leaving you to wonder if you were ever as important to them as they were to you. And here lies the hidden danger. You begin to internalize their absence. You start questioning yourself, asking, am I asking for too much? Am I too heavy? Maybe I don't deserve help. Maybe I really am alone. That's the manipulation of a fake friend. They abandon you, but their absence makes you blame yourself. You start shrinking your needs, learning to suppress your pain, all because you're afraid of pushing them further away. They teach you to accept crumbs of loyalty and call it love. But the truth is simple. Real friends show up in the storms. They don't care if it's inconvenient, if it's messy, or if it's uncomfortable. Real friends understand that loyalty is proven not in moments of joy, but in moments of despair. Fake friends, on the other hand, want the picture, perfect version of you. They only want to be around when it's easy, when it's fun, when there's something to take. When things get hard, they treat your struggles like a burden too heavy for their shallow commitment. You can tell the depth of someone's friendship by how they respond to your pain. Do they sit with you in silence, offering nothing but their presence? Do they check on you even when they have nothing to gain? Or do they vanish, waiting for you to heal on your own so they can return once the sun shines again? Pay attention, because the answer to that question reveals who is truly in your corner. The absence of fake friends in your hardest moments is not just neglect. It is a loud declaration that they were never truly invested in you. And once you see it clearly, once you realize that they were only present for the good times, it becomes impossible to unsee. You understand that friendship is not defined by who celebrates with you, but by who refuses to abandon you when everything falls apart. The conclusion is undeniable. You deserve people who stay. You deserve people who answer the late night call, who sit with you through the silence, who remind you that your struggles are not too much to carry. Fake friends will never give you that because they are not built for loyalty. They are built for convenience. And no matter how many years you have known them, no matter how many memories you share, you cannot afford to mistake convenience for commitment. So the next time you find yourself in pain, pay attention to who is missing. Their absence is the truth you have been avoiding. Do not chase after those who disappear when you bleed. Do not beg for loyalty from those who have shown you none. Instead, turn your heart toward the ones who stay not because it's easy, not because it's fun, but because they love you enough to walk through the storm at your side. That is friendship. Everything else is just an illusion. There is a reason betrayal by gossip feels like a knife to the heart. It comes from someone who once sat close enough to know your secrets. Fake friends thrive on this kind of betrayal. They don't simply talk about you, they weaponize your trust. They sit across from you, nodding, pretending to listen, making you believe that your words are safe in their care. They smile, reassure you, and act as if they are a vault for your deepest fears, your struggles, your vulnerable truths. But once you leave the room, once you are no longer present to defend yourself, they take those same words and scatter them into the ears of others. And they don't just repeat what you said, they twist it, stretch it, and spin it into a story that benefits them. Gossip for fake friends is not just casual talk. It is currency. It gives them social power. By sharing your struggles or failures, they suddenly become the one holding attention. They get to feel important by having a story to tell, a secret to share, a drama to unfold. They feed off the reactions of others while your name becomes the subject of laughter, judgment, or pity. The cruelest part is that the story they share doesn't belong to them. It's yours. It's your pain, your private moment, your trust, and they treat it like entertainment. This is how fake friends manipulate you. They pretend closeness so they can extract your vulnerability, and then they use it as ammunition. They may not confront you directly, but they weaken you indirectly, tarnishing how others see you while keeping their own image intact. And by the time you find out, by the time whispers reach your ears, the damage has already been done. Your reputation has been touched by words you never authorized, spoken by someone you never expected would betray you. The manipulation runs deeper than you might think. Fake friends don't just gossip to others, they gossip to you as well. They bring you the secrets of others, pretending that it is a sign of intimacy. They say, "Don't tell anyone but," and then hand you information that was never theirs to share. This is how they lure you into trusting them, by making you believe that you are in a circle of confidentiality. But the truth is, if they gossip with you, they will gossip about you. It's only a matter of time before your name becomes a story they tell in someone else's living room. What makes this betrayal sting is the realization that gossip is never neutral. It is always damaging. It does not matter whether the words are exaggerated, twisted, or even accurate. The act of spreading them is a declaration that your trust meant nothing. When someone you considered a friend chooses to share your private struggles, what they are really saying is, your dignity is less valuable than my moment of attention. That is not friendship, that is exploitation. And here is where the danger grows. The more they gossip about you, the more isolated you become. You start to feel unsafe opening up. You hold back your feelings, fearing that your words will one day be thrown into the wind. This silence eats away at you, leaving you with no outlet for your struggles. Fake friends do not just gossip, they steal your ability to trust, and in doing so, they rob you of connection. That is the slow, invisible poison they drip into your life. But the signs are always there if you are willing to notice them. Pay attention to how they speak about others. If their conversations are always filled with other people's names, if their energy thrives on scandal and secrets, you can be sure that one day your name will join that list. Watch the way they handle stories that are not theirs. Do they protect or do they expose? Do they keep or do they share? These are the clues that reveal who they really are. The conclusion is clear: fake friends gossip because they cannot build. They cannot build joy, so they destroy it. They cannot build intimacy, so they counterfeit it with secrets. They cannot build their own identity, so they shape one by dismantling yours. And the longer you allow them in your circle, the more pieces of your dignity they will trade away for scraps of attention. You deserve better than that. You deserve people who guard your name when you are not in the room. You deserve friends who treat your vulnerability as sacred, who protect your secrets as fiercely as their own, who would rather defend you in your absence than ever exploit you. A real friend does not make your life into a story for others. A real friend makes your story safer by being part of it with loyalty and respect. If you ever find yourself surrounded by those who whisper your name in ways that harm you, do not mistake their laughter for love or their presence for loyalty. Walk away, because gossip is not friendship. It is betrayal disguised as conversation. And in the end, the truth is simple. Gossip is never about you, it is about them. It exposes their insecurity, their hunger for attention, and their inability to build trust. When someone talks behind your back, they are really telling you that they are too small to stand beside you in honesty. So don't waste time chasing their approval or defending yourself against their whispers. Instead, protect your peace by surrounding yourself with people who speak your name with respect, even when you're not there to hear it. Because real friends don't spread your secrets, they guard them. Real friends don't use your story for entertainment, they walk through it with you. And once you find those kinds of people, you will never again mistake gossip for friendship.